So let's begin. Welcome to the first podcast that we've ever done. Uh, so this is just after the Tottenham Aston Villa game. 2-1 loss. What are your initial thoughts?
So I thought that we played really well in the first 10 minutes of the first half.
Hmm.
And then the rest of the game it was pretty poor. And I think the main issue for me with this game was that if you look at all of our attacks, they all came from the wings.
Yeah.
And the main issue for me is that it's not necessarily Polinia's fault, but he's it's not in his game to be able to play progressive passes like forward centrally. He did do a few nice crossfield passes this game, and then Bentancur, I do agree with your stance on him, is that he was really poor today. What were your
So,
thoughts?
so you think he needs a better foil, right? Like he needs so you need like Palhinha and then someone who's a bit more attacking, like as in a bit more balanced. So you have
Yeah,
then Palhinha being the more defensive, Simon's the more attacking, and then someone who's more box to box, so like Bergvall, I guess.
yeah. Ideally Bergvall, um, but for some reason Thomas Frank sees him as more of a cam than
Hmm.
a progressive kind of number eight central midfielder, and I think that causes a bit of problems. So I like if you remember like under Ange, the best uh pieces of play in possession were when Madison was there and
Yes.
he was dropping back, and he wasn't actually like very high up in the final third. He would always kind of drop back, do a few swivels, and then like turn forward and play like a really nice forward pass.
Hmm.
And I think that Xavi Simons can do that, but I think he's been told, or he's like in positionally has been told to stay further forward, as he's seen as more of a attacking midfielder. But I actually think in possession he would be better dropping back in the build-up play, and then I think that way we can play Simons and Bergvall. But for some
Yeah, and
reason,
Palhinha.
yeah,
Yeah.
but for some reason he seems to only want Bentancur and Palhinha, or Sara and Palhinha. It has to be two more conservative players.
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, still Bentancur scored, so I mean that's still like a good mark for him, I guess. But
But I felt like he did nothing else.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, the goal was well worked, right? As in, it was a good cross from Kudus, and it was a good positioning wise. It was well worked. It was clearly planned, right?
Yeah. So from set pieces this season, we do tend to actually do better from when the ball is like rolling in
Hmm.
live play. So I've noticed like from corners recently, we had the spell at the start of the season where um, it was really good, and we were really threatening from the corners. But lately, from corners, I feel like we haven't been too threatening. Um, and I don't think this. I can't remember exactly how it got to Kudus. I think it may have been a clearance.
Yeah, it was a
Uh,
clearance. I think it was a corner, right? And then it got cleared or a free kick. Yeah.
yeah. And it went to Kudus, and he put in a really good cross, had a lot of pace and height on it, and Palhinha kept it alive really well. And then even I think against Bodo Glimt, we opted for more of a rolling the ball instead of taking the actual free kick,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
Porro would cross it in, and it worked. And it seems like we've been practicing that a lot, and the way we've been performing on those live set pieces seems to create more dangerous chances than from a dead ball spot.
So then, do you think that maybe like when we're playing an attack, then more crosses is the way we need to play, and then play with a more sort of defined striker than Tell or Richarlison, who aren't particularly tall or particularly like suited for crosses into the box.
I think we shouldn't over rely on it. So I think
Hmm.
this should just be kept for set pieces, but we do need a more of a presence at striker because I feel even if the midfielders were able to progress it into the striker instead of the wingers, we would lose the ball because Richarlison or Tell, they don't have the hold up play that we
Yeah,
need in that striker position. So I think the real key area of concern for me is centrally the midfield, the attacking midfielder and the striker. If we could keep the ball more in those situations, I think we become a lot more threatening because then the rest of the other teams, so for example, today it would been Aston Villa, a lot of their attention would then be focused on the middle, and it would give Odegaard and Kudus a lot more space out on the wings.
yeah. I mean, I think you want to talk about Kudus, right? I mean, it was really well. He played really well once again today.
Yeah, yeah. I just like that he has the determination to always want to take on his man, and he has the pace and strength and dribbling ability to do it. And we've really missed that. I don't remember the last winger that's been able to really consistently do that at
Hmm.
Tottenham. Maybe I'm trying to think. Can you think of anyone?
Uh, well, I mean, I'm thinking Son against Dortmund that one game. Uh,
Yeah, but
but like, yeah, not consistently as Kudus has been at this stage. Especially as a new signing as well. It's really good.
yeah,
Do you
but
think like do you see sort of like other teams starting to then like target him as like as a major threat? Because I think it's like he's got the most dribbles completed in the Prem so far. So do you think that that will sort of like get the attention of other teams?
yeah, yeah. I think you saw it today that in the second half when he tires a bit,
Mm.
they'll send double teams to him, and then just becomes a lot more difficult to rely completely on Kudus to take on his man and get in a good position. I know you want to try him out on the left.
Yeah. Well, I just think he'll be able to get more crosses into the box a bit more dynamic, like as in he'll have more space to dribble in then. But yeah, and also because then Odegaard would do, I think, have a bit more confidence on the right because yeah, as we've been saying, is that Odegaard's not confident enough. Like as in, if he is to stay on the left wing, which is what you prefer, how would you sort of coach Odegaard into getting that confidence because it seems that Frank hasn't been able to get that into him, and I'm concerned that Brennan Johnson will be starting next game.
Oh, okay. I hope that is not the case. uh, but I think the key thing with Odegaard, and I've seen it in the second half today and the second half in another game before, is that Odegaard needs to go down the line. So when he's playing for France under 21s and before when he's played for us on the right wing, he's shown that he can dribble with his left foot.
Hmm.
And that means that when he then chooses to cut back out instead of inward and go down the line, it's more surprising for the defender. But
Yeah.
on the left wing, he seems to struggle because he only uses his right foot to dribble. And so they always know he's going to cut in. But if you could maybe provide that illusion that he will be going straight down the line and putting in a cross, I think he can then he'll have then more opportunity to cut in
Hmm.
and put in a cross. But I do like that today when he started, I think the ball in the first half went out to him on the left wing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he cut in and he just took a shot because I don't remember the last time Odegaard took a dribble, cut in, and actually shot the ball. It's always
Yes.
been
Yeah.
passing it backwards or passing it to the side or back out to Spence.
Yeah, but I feel like we have so many players now who are who are starting on the left and then cutting in on the right and then shooting. I feel like because Tal did it this game, Simons has done it before. I feel like is it something that we're sort of like running into the ground? Uh, Especially because Tal and Simons are slower than Odegaard and tend to get quite caught out quite quickly.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a good point. I think yeah, I just think you're right. We need more of a threat on the outside of the fullback.
Hmm.
Yeah, because then we become too predictable. And I think Odegaard can do it. I just think we need to impose the ban on him in terms of you can't turn around and pass it backwards. You can only pass it to the side or go down the wing, go down
Yeah.
like straight down the left wing. And I just want him to try it for a few games because I want him just to get confidence beating the fullback because I know he can. I know he's got the dribbling ability and he's got the pace. He's shown he can dribble with his left foot. So I just want him to get used to the angle on the left wing of being able to go down the wing and beat the fullback convincingly just for a few games. Like you're not allowed to cut in, you're not allowed to turn back, and I don't care if he loses the ball. I just want him to keep trying at it because I know it'll help us in the long term.
Yeah, but I mean, like Matikash is a feasible defender to beat. Like, it's not like we're talking about like a world-class right back. It's someone who's beatable, and I feel like Spence provided enough support, right? I don't know.
Spence does provide support, but I actually think he's a better defensive left back in the Thomas Frank system
Hmm.
than with Ange because uh or maybe that's how Thomas Frank has instructed him. Like under Ange, he was like at least he was getting forward a lot more,
That's
in
true.
behind the defense rather than in this system. He seems to always be more conservative. I think so we don't get caught on the counter because the only fast players at the back really are Van de Ven and Spence.
Hmm. I mean, it's better. It's more structured, I guess. Like, as in, if Odegaard was able to do it by himself, then that makes more sense. But yeah, maybe that's something tactically for them to do is to have Spence push up more, like how Porro does on the right.
Yeah, yeah, but Porro doesn't really get in behind.
Yeah, he doesn't get in
So
behind.
which I guess because they're leaving the space for Kudus to take on his man. But I think because Odegaard doesn't have that mentality yet of wanting to take on the fullback every time. I think Odegaard definitely prefers playing with Udogi. Um, and I think against Leeds there was like a nice turn he did, and Udogi just went straight in behind the defense, and Odegaard played the ball down the line, and it seems to work a bit better than Odegaard and Spence because Spence tends to not run in behind the defense as much.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point.
And
Uh,
I
Looking
also
at
want to talk about like so individual players. So who was
mhm.
your man of the match?
What for both teams or just for Tottenham?
Okay, you can give it for both teams.
Okay, okay. I mean, for Aston Villa, I would maybe say, I mean, I think I'd have to go to Morgan Rogers for the goal.
Yeah,
It was a really good goal. Um, but I think like overall it was more the structure. So I'd say like the back two, like Pau Torres and Konsa, like you couldn't get past them really.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and then for Tottenham, I would say, uh, yeah, I'd give it to Kudus. I know who are you giving to get to again?
Yeah, I would give it to Paulinho this
Oh,
game.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I think there was so many times where they were on the counter, and Paulinho just dove in and intercepted it, and he made a really good challenge. I think I remember him doing that at least like 5 or 6 times in
Hmm.
big moments, and he got the assist as well,
Yeah.
to Bentancur. And as you said, it is really concerning that our centre defensive midfielders are linking up for a goal.
Yeah,
and our
and
attack
on
cannot.
so many occasions as well. Like it's not there's like it's like the abandonment of our attack. It's just purely midfield.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, but do you think this game our attack looked worse because Romero wasn't there?
yeah, I was gonna ask you on this is the impact of Romero. Obviously the crossfield passes were that he does are good, but I didn't feel missed this game. The crossfield passes were still really good, so that wasn't the issue. I think I wouldn't put it down to Romero on like for the attack being worse. I'd put that down to yeah, Palhinha and Bentancur just like not bringing that attacking spark, and Simon's having little to like go from. Um, yeah, I think that Tottenham need to find a way to restructure the attack in order to get more balls into the attack as opposed to just crosses because crosses aren't working for Tell and Richarlison, so it needs to be something different. Whether that's sort of like passing back to Palhinha, Bentancur, maybe even Udogi and as in Spence this game and Porro, and then they then pass it into the striker that could be a way for them to do it, but it's just that there's not really a clear through line.
Yeah, I think I think it's because our midfielders don't turn around with the ball. I think that's
Hmm.
the big issue is that they don't either have the skill or the confidence to turn around with the ball. But with me, Romero plays really underrated forward passes. Like they don't have to be the crossfield passes, even though he did the really nice one with Bergval against Bright. No, it was earlier on in the season. But for me, Romero does really nice, simple forward passes that go underrated, where it puts us in a more threatening position, and only Romero can really do that for us. I did like the experiment with giving it to Van der Ven and just hit it out wide to Kudus.
Just
Just
scooping it up, yeah.
yeah, not even aim for Kudus, just power it towards the right wing and hope that he gets on the end of it.
I hope that doesn't go out of play, yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think Romero was missed at the back? Do you think that Danso filled in well at the back, or
Yeah,
do
I
you
think
think
he
he was a
bullied
bit?
Digne just as well as Romero would have.
Yeah. That same ankle twice.
I'm sure Romero would be really proud of Danso
Yeah.
um, putting in those challenges. But
But do you see long term concern, like if he is out for a long time?
um, more for the attack than the defense.
More for the attack, yeah.
Yeah, because I think Danto is solid defensively. Um, I I mean I wouldn't be opposed to trying. I just want to see what Byfield looks like because I know he's one of the best ball playing centre backs in his age group, and I think he's like the captain of his national age group with England.
Hmm.
I think he's 16 or 17, but I know he's really composed on the ball and he likes to play the forward passes. He may get bullied maybe a bit defensively, and it would be quite a shock for the Premier League.
Maybe a cup game then.
Yeah,
Do you
into
think?
the Premier League, but I think it's going to be worth it in the long term just to give him some minutes earlier on and just see what he can do on the ball because we desperately need it.
So you think a cup game, right? Like well, whatever cup game we have next. Do you think that, or like, or Champions League like final minutes? Do you think, or like, or Premier League final minutes? Like, how would you do it? Because I mean, you can't sort of like jump into the deep end with that kind of like responsibility.
Yeah, so I would not play him at all until we play PSG. No, but I think
Give the Super Cup another run.
yeah, I think the next cup game we have is against Newcastle.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so we're gonna lose that one anyway, because
yeah.
Newcastle is our Man City.
Yeah. So just sacrifice him and let him go
Yeah, just let
wild.
him experiment. Like, there's no pressure. Um, it's Newcastle at St James's Park. They're our bogey team.
just let it happen, like
Just let it
accept the
happen.
fate, kind of. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So
And
so
then if
then
we
do you think?
lose, we can blame it on Byfield.
Yeah, and then he never gets a game again. Or his confidence is knocked. But yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously it's worth the risk. But so then, who was at fault for the two goals then? Because those two goals are very similar, in terms of like outside of the box, sort of like slow, not like really powerful shots into the goal. Like, is that? Would you say that the onus is on Frank for the way he set up the defense to deal with those kind of like outer range shots, or is it due to individuals? Like, I mean, Vicario for the first goal maybe because it was more centrally, or was it too powerful for him to sort of get to in time?
I think the first goal, I know the commentators said it was too powerful for him to get to it, but for me, it felt like it wasn't in the corner, and it
It was
wasn't,
quite central.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it wasn't hit, in my opinion, like too powerfully. I'm not sure if Vicario may have dived too early and kind of
Mm.
misjudged the pace of the ball, because it felt like Vicario was like diving down, or he was like on his way down as the ball was still flying towards him, which made it hard to save.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
it's still
kind of
not
like when it gets
completely.
deflected, and then the
Yeah.
goalie's already diving, and it still goes a bit more central. I'm not sure if that was the case, but it
Yeah,
just
I know what you
felt
mean.
he should have saved it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not completely his fault because the fact that the shot was able to come off so easily anyway is still kind of concerning, right?
Yeah, but you are right that they both happened on on Aston Villa's right hand side.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And the same,
I know
like,
for the
outside of the
second,
box. Yeah.
yeah, and I know for the second one, Bentancur kind of stood still and was waiting for the ball to hit him and try and get a block rather than rushing out to Buendia. But I feel like that position, it it should have been either, I know it was slightly a bit more central, maybe Spence van der Ven, but in that position, I feel like Bentancur should have been closing them
Mm.
down.
But I mean, that's risky if you're saying Van de Ven because it's outside the box. So then, like, rushing the centre back out is is a risk in and of itself because then they can play that ball in through.
It is
So
a
it,
risk.
so
It is a
maybe it's like more acute awareness from Frank that's needed on whether like the team is set up for long shots like Aston Villa are, or and like Man City for example tend to be, or whereas versus a team that's sort of less, that's more reliant on getting into the box before shooting.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's right. And what do you think of the towel?
The towels are the most important part of the game. It's so weird. So firstly, why is it a rule that the towel can't be used? Why was that ever a rule in the first place? Like, what's so evil about the nefarious nature of towels? Like, why can't a towel just be used to clean the ball? Okay, and then second, why was it specifically allowed for this game? Why did Tottenham and Aston Villa even have the conversation to then agree that a towel can be used? Like, who approached who? Did Frank say to Emery, "Oh, like we have this towel. I think it'd be of mutual benefit." Well, and then thirdly, is Dancer. Why did he just continuously use it, even in the final minutes where we're gasping for air and gasping for time, and he's just.
Okay, okay. So I've Googled it.
You can
So using a towel to dry the ball before a throw-in is not universally illegal, and it only depends on the agreed use of the teams before the game. However, the towels have been banned by the EFL since the 23-24 season to reduce time wasting.
Oh, so it's a time wasting measure. That's the whole reason why it was banned in the first place.
I think so.
But the, but then my issue is that then why did we use it to time waste when we were losing?
We wasted at least 3 minutes drawing that ball. And Bergval knows that he can take a good long throw just as
but,
good as
but,
Dancer.
but he had to be the savior.
But you're right. It's because he didn't go to dry the ball with the towel,
Yeah, if he
and
went to try that, then he would have been trusted.
yeah, Dancer would have trusted him. But I don't see. But I feel like Dancer hasn't actually done a threatening
succeeded.
long throw maybe
Yeah,
since the Super Cup.
yeah, yeah. So do you think the Bergvall needs to, is it due to his inexperience? As he's only like what, like 19, 20 years old, he needs to develop his abilities before he can take the long throws in terms of his ability to dry the ball with a towel.
I think Bergvall needs to teach Dancer how to take the throw without the towel, especially if we need to score. If 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 we are going down the time wasting route, then yeah, by all means, Dancer, you take the throw on. You can dry it for as long as you want. But when in this position, we Bergvall should be able to take the long throw. He showed he could do it against Bournemouth, and then since then, and he should have I think he should have long throw rights,
Yeah,
and he can
he needs to
designate
own
it to
it.
Dancer if he wants to.
Yeah. So do you foresee Tottenham requesting for the towel to make a return in future games?
Well, again, it depends. Like if they both agree before the match, and
Yeah, but
uh,
who was it Tottenham's idea? Like, surely, right? But
yeah,
but
but
why?
no, because they didn't know Dancer was starting.
True, yes. But what's the significance?
They or how long before the game do they have to agree?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe when they realized Dancer was like Romero went off during the pre-match warm-up, then
Hmm.
maybe it's like 5 minutes before the game. They say, "Oh, do you want to use the towel?" And at that point, it was it was known that Dancer would be playing.
So maybe it's like in Dante's contract that every time he plays, we have to request the towel.
And
Because it's in,
I think he just doesn't have the ability to throw it without the
without.
towel. Or well, can he throw it with the towel?
Oh yeah, that would be good if you could throw the towel with it.
Yeah, like a slingshot.
So do you see Towel as being partially responsible for the failure of the game? Do you think that the Towel just the time wasted with it could has cost us a potential goal?
Yeah, you did word that a bit like Alan Sugar
Yeah,
with The
yeah,
Apprentice.
responsible for the
It
failure.
was the towel at fault for the failure of this task. I definitely think the towel wasted a lot of time, and and the throws weren't that good anyway.
Yeah.
I think the towel was detrimental to this game for sure. I think we need to question whether we do agree to it in the future. I think we shouldn't be so gung ho and be like, yeah, we want to use the towel.
Whether well, like, why is this even a discussion topic? Like, why is the towel even so, like, seemingly important?
Yeah, because apparently, according to Google, Calafiori was stopped from using the towel against
Oh,
Newcastle because
so he was the
only
first
Arsenal
obsession.
had agreed to it, but Newcastle hadn't.
But I like it. There's like a new like technique, like, oh, the towel, like this new technology, like, oh, towels can be used to dry the balls. Like nobody had used it in like the 90s or 2000s. It's just now the towel has become
Yeah, and is it just a
the
towel, or can you use other drying equipment? Is maybe a
oh,
hairdryer
yeah, or a kitchen cloth,
if there's a socket nearby.
yeah. Or a paper, yeah.
Oh yeah, and about the paper.
Yeah, the paper, yeah.
So so Kudus needed to do a bit of reading
Hmm.
within like the last 10 minutes or whatever of the game. And then the paper when Brendan Johnson came on,
Yeah, fucking commented.
he
Yeah.
gives the paper to Kolo Muani, and Kolo
Oops.
Muani doesn't even read it, just scrunches it in his hand.
Yeah, but then he holds it, right? So there's no risk of any of the other players reading it, right? As in like the opposition.
It's true, but then if it becomes too crinkly
Then he can't read it
or
himself.
maybe the sweat like causes it to deteriorate, there is a risk. I'm totally in favor of if you receive the note, read it straight away.
Do you think he got told it verbally? Maybe like he didn't want to
I don't think Brendan Johnson had told him anything.
relay the
I think he
message.
said read it, and he
Yeah, well,
didn't.
like maybe like Thomas Frank like told him before he came on, like, we may be moving to this like setup. I mean, what even was the difference? I mean, I couldn't notice really anything.
I think yeah, I think the difference it must have been from set pieces on who was marking who because we moved to three at the back. And again, I found the three at the back weird. I thought it was going to be Palhinha, Danso, and Van de Ven, not Porro.
He did get back well though at the end there.
Yeah, yeah. But Porro, I really like Porro's effort. I just think he's not utilized as well, and especially in this game.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, but like, as in, and also he wasn't able to get forward as much, as you're saying. Like, yeah, he only had those crosses from like behind the box,
Yeah,
which he's normally good at. But yeah, as in there wasn't too much output there.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, but that will be it for this session. Um, it's like a
Yes, next.
session, like a
What?
psychology, like a
Yeah.
therapy
Well, what's
session.
what's our next game, right? Was it? It's
Our
what are we
next
playing?
game is against Monaco on Wednesday. So
Yes.
but then the next Prem game is against Everton. So that will be
The next
our
time
next
we
podcast,
record
but
this.
we'll recap on Monaco and Everton.
What's your predictions, Monaco?
Monaco is away from home. I think they may have recently sacked their manager.
Oh,
I'll go with 3-1 Tottenham. What's yours?
I'll go 2-0. I
I,
think. I mean, we did just lose. Maybe I should like have my confidence knocked a bit. Maybe like a 0-0. But I'll go 2-0.
okay, and then Everton.
Everton, I think that's a comfortable win. I'd say
It's away from home.
it's away from her. Okay, maybe not. I'd say I'll still go 2 on Tottenham. Maybe not as comfortable as I thought, but still a win.
Okay, I'm gonna say 2-all.
Why?
I think Njai, and
Yes.
I think he's just really good, and I think with our form attacking at the moment, I think Moise will set up to I think he'll set up well to defend against us.
Hmm. I mean, yeah. I mean, we'll see, and we'll have a lot to discuss. But I'm holding you to that too. If we do, and then I think your confidence can improve a bit for the upcoming set of games.
Yes, yeah, hold me to
I will.
it. Okay?
Cool.
Thanks guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you.